Each subway line in Boston is different from the others. Different colors, different sized trains, and their own unique histories. Before this, I had been on all of the lines that make up the T except for one, the Blue Line. And the Blue Line has so many interesting features. It's the shortest line in Boston, the trains are significantly smaller than the other lines, it's the only line to terminate downtown, and most interestingly, the trains collect electricity both via third rail and overhead electrification. We start this video at Boston's Logan Airport. Together with my brother Bear, I've just arrived here after a really early morning flight from Baltimore. I hadn't been to Boston in 2 years, so I was eager to get into the city. There are 2 transit lines connecting the airport with downtown Boston. One is the Silver Line bus route. This is what I rode last time I was here. Today, we're taking the other route.
Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new Trains Are Awesome video. I'm Tom and I'm not alone. I have Bear with me. We are in Boston. Last time I was in Boston, these are the lines that I covered. And you'll notice that the Blue Line was missing. That's because it was under construction. Finally, 2 years later, we're going to ride the MBTA Blue Line.
Now, the Silver Line serves all of the airport terminals directly. However, the Blue Line subway station is located a bit farther away. Luckily, there are free shuttle buses that will take you from the terminals to the station. I'm excited to ride the Blue Line. Like I said, it was the only line on the T that I hadn't been on yet. And it has so many interesting features.
USO and the Chapel. The next 2 stops are the Logan Office Center and the Water Transportation Dock.
Alright, that wasn't too bad. It was like 5 minutes.
Oh, so short. So
now
we're at... You tell me, Tom.
We're at the Blue Line station. It's time to ride the T.
First things first, we need to buy a Charlie card.
You know about Charlie, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wonder if we'll see him today.
He's still stuck there somewhere.
For those who don't know, Charlie was the main character in a song written in the 1940s. It was originally a campaign song for a mayoral candidate who was running on simplifying fares. Because Charlie didn't have enough money to leave the subway, so the song goes, he ended up being stuck on it forever. Charlie really never has left the T since his face is still on every fare card. Now let's ride the MBTA Blue Line. At only 6 miles or 10 kilometers long, with 12 stations, it is the shortest of all the T lines. Here comes a 700 series train, built by Siemens and in service since 2008. These trains are 6 cars long, and the cars themselves are much smaller than the trains on the red or orange lines. They're only 48 feet or 15 meters long. And eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed that we have gotten on a train headed towards Wonderland, the outer terminus, not downtown. Don't worry, it's just to show you something.
Would you look at that? No third rail.
Uh-oh, Bear's getting a little bit ahead of himself here. Let me explain.
So now that I rode the Blue Line, I've officially been on every color of the MBTA, and that is a good feeling. We're at Wood Island Station right now. That was on purpose because I want to show you guys something. Look above me. That's overhead catenary. For rapid transit systems in the United States, that's pretty rare.
It's not entirely unique. For example, most of the subway lines in Tokyo, Japan use overhead electrification, but in the United States, subways generally pick up electricity from a third rail.
But the Blue Line is electrified with overhead wires.
The overhead wire is electrified at 600 volts. A device mounted to the roof of the trains, known as a pantograph, picks up the current.
Banana bread?
But I would be lying if I said the Blue Line doesn't use a third rail. It does, just not here. Let's go back to the airport. Back at Airport Station, the pantograph on the roof of the train is lowered.
See, here at Airport Station, trains switch from using overhead electrification to a third rail. Here in the United States, that is very rare to see a system like that. It happens in a few other places. For example, Rotterdam, where I used to go to high school, the subway there actually switches in several different places. But here in the United States, really you have to come to Boston to witness that.
Soon after leaving the station, our train will dive underground and the overhead electrification will end. From Wonderland to the airport, the Blue Line is powered by overhead wires. From the airport to Bowdoin, it is powered by a third rail. But why is the Blue Line set up like this? Well, like most examples worldwide, including the one in Rotterdam that I mentioned, it's because the Blue Line is actually a patchwork of different old railway lines that have been combined into one. In the case of the Blue Line, the underground section dates back to 1904, when the East Boston Tunnel opened between Court Street and a tunnel portal at Maverick Square. This was the first underwater transit tunnel in the United States. The tunnel was used by streetcars, and that is why they are very small. There is no space for overhead electrification, so a third rail is a must here. The tunnel was extended to Bowdoin in 1916, and then there was a ramp that connected to the Longfellow Bridge, bringing streetcars into Cambridge. But the trolleys were getting so crowded, so the decision was made to convert the line into a heavy rail subway. The conversion happened in 1924. New high platforms were built on top of the original low platforms, which you can still see to this day. A new station was built at Maverick, where passengers could transfer from a subway train to a streetcar. The ramps to Cambridge were kept open but unpowered to let trains use a maintenance facility in Cambridge. Meanwhile, the eastern section of the line used to be an electric, narrow-gauge railway known as the Boston, Revere Beach, and Lynn Railroad. This line opened in 1875 and connected to a ferry to get across Boston Harbor. It was dismantled in 1940, and a year later, the MTA, that's what the MBTA was called back then, bought the right-of-way. They built a new line along this route, standard gauge this time, which opened between 1952 and 1954, connecting to the East Boston Tunnel. This is what eventually became the Blue Line between Bowdoin and Wonderland stations. The old converted railway is outside, and so they used overhead electrification because that was able to withstand the icy winters better. But like I said, the underground section is really small, so that section is third rail, and the trains run on both. Since the 1950s, there have been a few station renovations, but other than that, the service has been pretty much the same.
Hey, look, behind you, you get off the train, it's a free history lesson. Oh.
The Blue Line connects with the Orange Line at State Station and with the Green Line at Government Center. We got off at Government Center briefly to grab a snack.
Government Center Station, Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts. Welcome to Boston. All right, we're headed to the last stop now. Can you stop bothering all the other passengers, please?
No!
It is kind of strange to be the only people in the train car. This car was packed earlier.
Last stop for this train is Bowdoin.
Bowdoin Station has an interesting layout because it's actually located on a loop. So the train will stop at the northern platform, let everybody off, make the loop, and then come to the southern platform, ready to take passengers in the direction of the airport and Wonderland.
How you doing?
There is a chance that Bowdoin Station might close. Since the Blue Line doesn't connect to the Red Line, there are plans to extend it just a short distance to Charles MGH Station for a convenient transfer with the Red Line. This probably wouldn't be until 2040 anyways, if it even happens, but those portals that I was talking about that connect to the bridge were sealed off in the 1950s. And that was the Blue Line. I think it's a really cool transit line here in the United States, and I'm very glad I got the chance to ride it. Now, Bear and I were ready for a day in Boston, and we started off by walking through downtown in the direction of the Boston Common and the Boston Public Gardens, one of our favorite spots in the city. Time to eat our snack.
I got a Boston cream, which is kind of my regular order, even when I'm not in Boston, but don't judge me. So that was the Blue Line. The switch between modes is really cool. It really reminded me of Rotterdam, and it's just something that you don't see very much no matter where you are. So I'm very happy to have been able to ride the Blue Line. Of course, 2 years ago when I couldn't, I was sad, but now we finally rectified that situation. Bear, how'd you like the Blue Line?
It was nice.
It was nice, said Bear. So,
Very nice.
anyways, thank you so much. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to Trains Are Awesome. We got more content from Boston, from the United States, and all over the world coming your way, so you don't want to miss it. We'll see you next time.